Hey everybody, welcome to the O365 Pulse. We are happy to be here today with updates for you guys. Again, we're getting close to Ignite, so we don't have a ton of updates, but we'll be going through. We have some things in development, which means Microsoft is behind the scenes developing them. We have some things which are rolling out, which means they're rolling out to everyone's tenants, but not fully there, as well as some things in launched. So I'm going to kick it off and pass it off to Tamara, and she can start off with the things that excite her about in development.
Great. So in Outlook for Windows, there's text predictions, and I already have this in my personal Outlook account. So this must be for the business side, and it's actually pretty good. As you type, it predicts what you're typing, and then you just hit tab to finish it. And it'll go out like 3 or 4 words. So it does save you a lot of time.
Yeah, I think they might actually have this quote unquote in development, but they haven't like caught up the status of it because I've had this for like a couple months now, I think,
Mm-hmm.
in my client here at work. So you're right, though. I love it. It works really well.
Cool. Well, another one is user reactions inside of Yammer. So new reactions for a post. We can like, love, laugh, celebrate, be sad. We can have feelings in Yammer. So that's kind of exciting. So welcome to the world of feelings. We can have them now.
Too funny.
We can have all the midlife crisis emotions
Yes.
in Yammer now, guys.
We can now fully express what 2020 has meant to us this year.
I don't know if all the feelings were there.
Okay. Yeah, there would be
Anger-
other feelings
anger
that would
is
have to
not
show
there.
up that aren't probably really good to have out
Not
there.
suitable
That-
for the workplace.
Now
Yes,
with the
there you
new
go.
dumpster fire emote.
Yes, there. Awesome. Yeah, let's put that in
Exactly.
user place.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
I'll just blanket throw this out there, and if anyone has anyone particular they want to talk about, there is a ton of updates. About 2/3 of the updates are related to specific updates for Edge and different versions of Edge coming out. So if you use Edge as your browser, that's what your workplace does. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming. Things like anchored tech notes for PDF, automatically switch users to their work profile, version rollback, digitally signed PDF files, whole bunch of stuff like that. So there's about 6 or 7 different Edge updates that they added to the roadmap. This is just giving some love to their browser and some of the things that are going on. So if in particular you care about that or your work uses Edge, there's getting some love out there. And all of this just got added in. So I imagine you'll probably see some Edge love coming towards Ignite as well too.
One of the things that jumped out at me is Microsoft Teams template for creation of a new team. So
Yes.
basically, they're going to allow you, really, I know, they're going to allow you to actually create formal, official team templates now. And that's going to make it a lot nicer if you have certain things that you do in every team that you roll out. You can go ahead and put it all together in an actual template. We've done this before by just making a team site and then say, hey, create a new team based on this other team. This sounds like it's going to be a little bit more formal and actually be treated as a template. So I'm assuming there'll be a few more controls on there, which will be really nice. And hopefully will allow you to preset a lot of things that when we tried doing just the copy of an existing team workspace to a new one, they all kind of defaulted to the normal settings that you would see on a brand new one. I'm hoping this gives us the ability to go in and say, no, this can't be used by anybody external, and don't set it up on saying that can. So things like that. I'm looking forward to that one. There was also one other one here, Outlook for Windows, intelligent-based translations. So you can select all or part of your message and opt into automatic translation to help you read that text. So if you're working in any kind of an environment where you have a number of languages that you're working with, this could probably really help you out in the fact that you don't have to run over and get somebody who knows, some other language that you don't. You might be able to get a pretty good gist of what's going on there just by allowing the automatic translation to happen.
Awesome.
I always like when you see stuff like this too, because it talks about intelligence-based translations. This is going to be a better quality than if you just like take text and put it into something like Google Translate, which I've had to do before in the past when I was like working in support, and you get like, a ticket that comes in French or something. You're just like, oh, okay, cool. So you type up your reply in English and then just translate it over. This actually tries to have more conversational translations, so not so much as like literal word for word, where it's going one word at a time and translating it. It's trying to take the meaning of it, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I think we're moving on now to going into rolling out. So this is where we are rolling out. We're going to start to see it in different tenants. And so I'll start with the new file sharing experience in Microsoft Teams. You can create a shareable link for any file stored in Teams and directly set the permissions. And this is going in the worldwide tenant. Right now it's coming out inside of Microsoft Teams and going out there. So that is starting to roll out. I'll do another one while I'm here because it's only partially rolling out. We feel the pain of this. That's Microsoft List. We've been waiting for it to roll out in our tenant, and we're halfway there. We can get it inside of Teams, but we can't get it inside of SharePoint. Well, we can get it inside of SharePoint because you activate it inside of Teams, and then it's available, but we can't get it in the, the one drop down, but you can get it in the other. So Microsoft List rolling out soonish to a tenant near you.
Yeah, we actually saw it arrive late last week, I believe, in our Teams client. Yeah. And we played with it. It's like, this is really cool. Of course, now we want to see the little Teams or the little lists icons, so we can start having people build their own without having to be into Teams when they do it.
I'm very excited about it. Very excited about it. So Tom, what's exciting for you in rolling out?
Word. There's a new feature, Designer in Word for the web. God, I love that. Somebody needs to write that piece. Maybe this would help them. Designer in Word for the web allows you to have your document look and feel consistent based on what kind of words you're using. So if it looks at it and goes, I'm going to channel my clippy voice here. It looks like you're trying to create a resume. Would you like some help? This is going to basically help format your document in a resume look and feel, or, if you're trying to do some sort of maybe a contract, it's just going to give you styles that you can put out there, see if that works, and give you some consistency instead of you trying to start from scratch every time. And I think that's good because some people live and breathe that stuff. Others, we just look at the blank page and go, I think I'll pick a heading here, and I think I'll do something down there. This will actually help you get something that looks much more professional right out of the gate. And that's always a good thing.
I guess I'll just go ahead and throw it out there because I did it for the end development. So a lot of the stuff that we mentioned literally last week on end development for Edge version 0.86 has now already moved to rolling out. So clearly they're pushing the features too quickly. Most of the stuff that I mentioned on end development this week, like 5 minutes ago, was for 0.87. But a lot of the stuff on 0.86 that we talked about literally last week, the stuff like automatic profile switching, table of contents for PDFs, custom image through group policy, stuff like that, has now already moved to rolling out, and it's actually scheduled to roll out this year or this month. So again, a lot of love for Edge seems to be going on right now. That team's been very active. So there's about 8 of them. I'm not going to read through all of them, but again, just know if Edge is coming through, stuff that we talked about last week that they had just added to in development has already moved to rolling out. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if next week when we're here, I'm telling you all the stuff that I mentioned for Edge 0.87 is already rolling out. But just moving forward with stuff pretty quickly with Edge.
And in Microsoft Teams, they have suggested replies both for Android and iOS. So the suggested replies in the Teams chat uses an assistive AI to create short responses based on the context of the previous message. So Microsoft is really taking this predictive text thing and putting it to use across the entire platform, it appears to me.
Yep, which is super awesome. All right, and we are already moving into launch. So that's how quickly we are moving today. This one's really exciting. So this is cumulative analytics. I can't talk. Analysis analytics for hubs inside of SharePoint. And so this is where you can get aggregate usage analysis for your hub sites. And then you can get, which pages are being used, which sites are being used across all of the hubs, which is great. Total visits, unique viewers, top viewers, and different things like that. And I believe there's even a spot. It's either this or it's another piece. Oh, it's another piece down there that's launching. You can also start to download your site usage into Excel. So then you can manipulate it, do reports, different things like that. So I think those are two big changes coming inside of the usage reports and stuff like that, giving us more accurate data is not the thing. They're giving us data points that we can then do reports and get accurate information that we can make actionable. So excited about both of those two changes. I feel like I need to apologize to Tom because I probably just took both of his.
No, actually you didn't. There is still one that I have buried in the middle of all of this that I'll get to tell you about.
All right.
In Excel, they have now rolled out and gotten into launch the tasks feature for Excel. So in an Excel notebook, you can now actually create and assign tasks to different people who are collaborating on it. So if you've got certain things that need to be done to build this particular spreadsheet, especially if you're doing collaborative editing, you can now say, hey, Bob, you need to do worksheet A to get all these things out. Sally, do worksheet C. And you can now track that from within the actual spreadsheet itself. I think that's really cool, especially since you've gone into the collaborative realm to say, let's work on this together. Now you can track, and now that we're working on this together, here's what each of us need to be doing. And you don't have to go to various different places to track it. So that's a good thing.
So in Microsoft Teams, they're doing device tagging functionality now. As part of enhanced manageability, Microsoft is releasing device tagging functionality, and it's going to enable IT admins to group specific sets of devices with user-generated tags and then perform actions on them. So that's rolling out in September of this year.
So I'm guessing that's like if you're using like surfaces or things like that, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw it out there. So the not so small kept secret. I'm the admin of the group here, right? So I'm
Right.
the person that typically manages, and works with customers that are the people that are managing their organizations or 365. Tom does a whole bunch of great stuff with SharePoint. Tamara and Jenn, while they kind of work with admins, they have pretty specific focuses on what they do with a lot of them. And then obviously Jen's just a wealth of knowledge on all things SharePoint and the end user adoption of it and stuff of that. I'm the one who gets there and does the day-to-day administration side. So there's actually one thing in here that I thought was kind of cool that's going to be really boring if you don't know what's going on with it. So basically, they've actually rolled out custom mailbox submissions and improvements to admin submissions. What this basically comes down to is if a user is having problems where they had something that was blocked that they didn't want blocked, or something that got through that they didn't want through, it's going to make it easier for those users to report it up to both Microsoft and to their admins. Specifically speaking, right now, I've done email support for over a decade. When someone has a problem with email, it's like, all right, cool, I need the headers of that mail message. And convincing someone that doesn't know what's going on how to get the headers of an email message is not a fun thing to do. Most of the time, they'll just forward the message to you, which completely eliminates any useful headers for you. And then you can't see what went on. So then you have to tell them, oh, well, I need the original message that you've gone through. It's a nightmare. But basically, they're adding in stuff that will allow users to even just upload the message itself. Just go in and select the email and upload the message. They're going to give you abilities to report stuff up to Microsoft or maybe a security expert or things like that. It's just a whole bunch of custom awesomeness to make it easier for users to report a problem, and specifically the side I care about, it make it much easier for an admin to get actual relevant working details about what happened to that problem. So actually a really cool thing. It's small. Most people probably won't care about it, but I see this as a pretty big quality of life, and just I'm not going to have to spend 2 hours trying to get these details from Debbie because Debbie doesn't know what's going on, or Jake thinks he knows more than me, so he keeps forwarding stuff on to me and it's not helping me at all, and I have to politely tell Jake, who's a C-level staff, that Jake, this isn't helping. So stuff like that are just really cool, and I'm happy to see that update coming out.
Good.
Wow, that's like our spreadsheet right there.
Yeah, I think that's everything, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I am anticipating that next week's will probably even be shorter. So we have 36 whole updates this week. Next week, I'm guessing we're probably going to have about 12. And then we'll roll into Ignite, and then we'll probably have 400.
4-hour show.
But that's all good. So everybody have
Welcome
a
to our
good
Ignite
week.
36-hour stream.
Yes, and we will talk with you guys soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.